Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling.
There are moments in the world of entertainment that go far beyond flashing cameras and perfectly staged appearances. Moments that feel so genuine, so unexpectedly human, that they quietly linger in the hearts of millions. And recently, one such moment unfolded when Zhao Lusi returned to her hometown. What seemed like a simple appearance soon turned into something much deeper. Fans who had followed her journey for years found themselves holding their breath, watching closely as a familiar smile slowly gave way to something far more vulnerable. It was not planned, not rehearsed, and certainly not something that could be recreated. In a space filled with excitement and admiration, something shifted. A letter, a few simple words, and suddenly the atmosphere changed. What happened next was not just touching, it was unforgettable. And perhaps, for the first time in a long while, people weren't just watching a star. They were witnessing a daughter returning home, a young woman reconnecting with the place that shaped her, and a human being allowing herself to feel everything in front of the world. As Zhao Lusi stepped onto the stage in Chengdu, there was an undeniable warmth surrounding her presence. Dressed elegantly, she carried the grace that fans have always admired. Yet, there was also something softer, almost nostalgic in the way she looked around. This was not just another city, this was home. The place where her story began long before the spotlight ever found her. The energy in the crowd reflected that understanding. Fans were not merely there to see a celebrity, they were there to welcome someone back, someone who belonged. The turning point came quietly. A fan letter was handed to her, simple in appearance, yet filled with emotion. As she began to read, her tone remained steady at first, but gradually something shifted. Her expression softened, her eyes began to glisten, and for a brief moment, it seemed as though time itself slowed down. The words were not grand or complicated. They spoke of unwavering support, of love that did not demand anything in return, and of a promise that stretched into the unknown. It was the kind of message that might appear ordinary on paper, yet carried immense weight when spoken aloud in that setting. There was a pause, a subtle hesitation, the kind that reveals more than words ever could. In that instant, the distance between idol and audience quietly disappeared. What remained was something far more intimate, a shared emotional space where vulnerability was not hidden but gently acknowledged. And just as the moment threatened to become overwhelming, Zhao Lusi responded in a way that perfectly reflected who she is. With a light-hearted remark, she eased the tension, drawing soft laughter from the crowd. It was not an attempt to dismiss the emotion, but rather a way of holding it together, of balancing sincerity with warmth. This balance is perhaps one of the most defining aspects of her appeal. She does not remain distant or untouchable. Instead, she allows glimpses of her true self to emerge, even in the most public settings. Her humor, her sensitivity, and her ability to navigate such moments with grace all contribute to a connection that feels genuine rather than constructed. It is a reminder that authenticity does not need to be dramatic to be powerful. Sometimes it is found in the smallest gestures, in the quiet pauses, and in the unspoken understanding between a person and those who support her. Her return to Chengdu carried layers of meaning beyond that single moment. It symbolized a full circle, a journey that began in ordinary surroundings and gradually expanded into something extraordinary. Yet, despite the distance she has traveled in her career, there remains a clear sense of grounding. When she described herself as feeling like a princess of her hometown, it was said with a gentle tone, one that blended humor with genuine affection. It was not about status, but about belonging, about being embraced not for who she has become, but for who she has always been. There is also something quietly powerful about the way she interacts with people. Rather than maintaining a strict boundary, she leans into the connection, responding with warmth and attentiveness. This openness creates a space where fans feel seen, where their support feels acknowledged, and where the relationship evolves into something more meaningful. It is not simply admiration from afar. It becomes a shared journey, one that grows over time. Beyond the stage, there were glimpses of even more personal moments. Subtle interactions with those closest to her, fleeting yet meaningful. A gentle smile exchanged, a quiet conversation, the kind of interactions that do not need to be amplified to be felt. These moments added another dimension to the story. They reminded everyone that behind the public figure is someone who cherishes family, who finds comfort in familiar faces, and who, despite everything, remains connected to her roots. What makes this story resonate so deeply is not just the emotion itself, but the way it unfolds naturally. There is no sense of performance in the vulnerability. Instead, it feels like a rare window into something real. In an industry often associated with carefully curated images, moments like these stand out precisely because they are unfiltered. They remind audiences that authenticity still exists, that sincerity can still break through the surface, and that genuine emotion will always find its way to people's hearts. The response that followed was immediate and widespread. Clips and images circulated rapidly, accompanied by messages of admiration and empathy. People from different backgrounds found themselves moved, not because they were part of the event, but because they recognized something familiar within it. The longing for home, the value of support, and the importance of staying true to oneself are experiences that transcend any single story. They belong to everyone. In many ways, this homecoming marked more than just a return. It felt like a reaffirmation, a reminder that success does not have to come at the cost of authenticity, and that no matter how far someone goes, there is always a place that remains constant, a place where the heart feels at ease, where memories are preserved, and where identity is quietly anchored. As her journey continues, moments like this will likely remain significant, not because they are frequent, but because they are meaningful. They shape the way people see her, not just as a performer, but as an individual. Someone who carries both strength and softness, who can stand in the spotlight, yet remain deeply connected to her origins. And perhaps that is why this story continues to resonate, because it is not simply about a return, but about what that return represents. A bridge between past and present, between who we were and who we become. And in that space, something truly special takes place. If this moment touched you in any way, don't forget to stay connected with Update X, 24 hours for more stories that go beyond the surface and bring you closer to the human side of the entertainment world. Your support helps us continue sharing meaningful content that inspires, comforts, and connects. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to having you with us in the next story.